here is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday. It's the 6th of May, 2021. The Works Progress Administration, created on this day, 1935, by Franklin D. Roosevelt, the biggest agency in the New Deal, employed about 8.5 million unemployed people, building roads and highways, repairing and constructing bridges, public buildings, parks, airport runways. It's the birthday of Orson Welles, born Kenosha, Wisconsin, 1915. At the age of 21, he was hired to direct a New York production of Macbeth. Went into radio, directed radio plays. It was his 1938 broadcast of War of the Worlds that made him internationally famous. 3 years later, Citizen Kane came out. He was the writer, producer, director, and the star of the movie. It didn't do great things at the box office, but now considered one of the greatest films in history. And then his career started to go south. He had a number of box office failures in the 40s, The Magnificent Ambersons, Journey into Fear, The Lady in Shanghai. Orson Welles, who said, "I started at the top and worked my way down." It's the birthday of Sigmund Freud, born in Freiburg, Moravia, now part of the Czech Republic, 1856. Lived in Vienna from the age of 4, then when the Germans occupied it, moved to London. Two of Freud's prize pupils, Alfred Adler and Carl Jung, broke with him. Adler believed that aggression, rather than sex, was the primary motivator of the human animal. Adler was the one who coined the term inferiority complex. Freud looked on Carl Jung as his natural successor, but Freud, who was an atheist, could not go along with Jung's focus on myth, mysticism, the collective unconscious. And it's the birthday of the novelist Gaston Leroux, born in Paris, 1868. He was a reporter and a theater critic, then took up fiction. He was fascinated with the Paris Opera House, which sits above a series of catacombs, jail cells, studied the blueprints of the building, knew it inside and out. And when a skeleton was discovered in the cellars, he began to write his novel of obsession and music, a Beauty and the Beast fable, The Phantom of the Opera, published in 1910, which is what we know him for in the English-speaking world, though Gaston Leroux did go on to cover the Russian Revolution and to write a whole series of detective novels. Here's a poem for today by Joyce Sutphin entitled Reading Stanley Plumley. I'm sitting in a sunlit room reading Stanley Plumley. The phone rings. Tim is in Red Wing doing something at the courthouse, buying Harrelson apples at the grocery store. I say, stop by on your way back home, which is what he was hoping to do, though it would have been okay either way. I know that too. So I go out and walk in the leaves around the tower, around the house, and I see Robert and Art standing there, so I go over and talk to them until Tim arrives, which doesn't take long, and he joins us for a while talking about the book fair on Saturday and certain poems about autumn that we all love. Then Art has to go, and Robert tells a story before he leaves, and then Tim and I sit on the front steps in the sun, eating Harrelson apples, and then Tim leaves, and I'm back in the sunlit room, reading Stanley Plumley's poems. A poem by Joyce Sutphin, Reading Stanley Plumley, used by permission of the poet here on the Writer's Almanac. Funded by donations from listeners like you. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.